The alarms on the Ardent Star rang for only 3 seconds, just long enough to warn the crew that something out there in the darkness was wrong. Then they went silent again, leaving a strange tension hanging in the air. Commander Lirena Valcora felt the vibration under her boots as the ship slowed, almost as if it was afraid to keep moving. Warships never hesitated, but today, the ship behaved like it sensed danger before the crew did. Lirena was used to danger. She had survived border wars, pirate traps, and negotiations that ended with plasma burns. But nothing put her in a worse mood than the message she received earlier that morning. High Command had assigned her a bodyguard, not just any guard, a human guard. Lirena belonged to the Catharital. Strong, proud. Her people believed power came from size and strength. Humans? They were short, soft, and fragile in her view. Clever, yes. Creative, yes. But warriors? Not at all. Still annoyed, she made her way to the training chamber to meet the human. The doors slid open, and she saw him standing quietly in the center of the room, hands behind his back, posture straight, Rian Hale. He turned his head slightly when she entered, but didn't bow or speak. He simply watched her with calm brown eyes. He was smaller than her, thinner. No armor, no imposing presence. He looked like someone who would break if a training drone hit him too hard. Lirena almost laughed out loud. Double quotes. So, she said, folding her arms, "You are the one assigned to protect me." Rian nodded. "Yes, Commander." His voice was quiet and steady, but nothing about him felt threatening or impressive. She walked around him once, inspecting him the way she inspected new cadets. "You're too small," she said openly. "I don't know what High Command was thinking. I do not need protection, especially not from someone who barely reaches my shoulder." Rian didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He simply said, "I will perform my duty." Lirena scoffed and left without another word. Humans were many things, but not warriors, not protectors of Cathari commanders. A few hours later, the Ardent Star reached an abandoned mining moon. A distress signal had been coming from the old station, faint and broken. Something about missing workers, shadows moving, and a warning cut off mid-sentence. High Command wanted answers, so Lirena led the mission. Rian followed her quietly down the shuttle ramp. Dust swirled in the thin air. The base looked dead from the outside, but the moment they stepped in, Lirena felt something wrong. The walls were scratched. The lights flickered. The metallic smell of old machines mixed with something else, something unpleasant. Rian walked behind her, silent, eyes scanning everything with unusual sharpness. The deeper they went, the more signs they saw. Broken tools, claw marks on doors, empty hallways filled with whispering echoes. "This place is abandoned." Lirena muttered. Rian didn't respond. Then a metallic crash came from the corridor ahead. Lirena raised her plasma spear and rushed forward. When she entered the next chamber, she stopped instantly. 12 armed mercenaries stood waiting. Pirates. Their armor was heavy, their weapons ready, and their eyes filled with hunger. Their leader, a thick, scarred alien with silver teeth, stepped forward. "Well, well," he growled. "A Cathari commander. You will sell for a good price." Lirena didn't move. "Walk away. This is your only warning." The pirates laughed. The leader pointed at Rian. "Kill the human. Bring her alive." The mercenaries charged. Lirena prepared to strike, but before she could take a step, Rian touched her arm lightly. "Step back," he said softly. She stared at him. "Are you insane?" "You cannot handle," but Rian wasn't listening. He walked forward calmly, almost too slowly for the situation. The pirates rushed at him, confident, laughing, eager to crush the small human. Lirena felt her throat tighten as the first pirate swung his blade. Then everything changed. Rian moved fast, so fast she almost didn't see it. His hand blurred, striking the pirate's wrist, then his chest. The pirate collapsed instantly. Another mercenary attacked from behind. Rian twisted, grabbed the attacker's arm, and flipped him over his shoulder, slamming him to the ground. The room filled with confusion. Rian didn't hesitate. He flowed through the pirates like water, smooth, fast, precise. He dodged a swing, struck a knee, blocked a blade with his bare arm, and dropped each attacker with one perfect motion. 3 went down, then 5, then 7. Lorena could only watch, frozen. She had never seen anything like this speed, beyond anything she had trained for. Control sharper than any elite unit she had commanded. Rian moved like he had done this 1,000 times before. 2 more pirates charged at once. Rian vaulted over one, kicked the other in the face, grabbed the first by the collar, and used him as a shield when a plasma bolt fired. They all fell like broken statues. Finally, the leader roared and lunged. Swinging a heavy blade, Rian stepped aside. Effortlessly, 2 fingers struck the leader's throat. The alien collapsed in silence. 12 warriors defeated in less than 15 seconds. The room was quiet. Again, Lorena's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Her chest felt tight. Her spear lowered slowly as she stared at the human she had mocked. Rian looked at her calmly. "Are you injured, Commander?" She shook her head slowly. "No, but how did you do that?" He helped her steady herself. "Humans adapt. We learn fast." She had no words. She had never ever been so wrong. As they left the room, the shadows behind them seemed to shift, and the walls gave a quiet, unnatural groan. Something else was in the station. Something powerful. And Lorena realized with a strange mix of fear and awe. She might not have survived without the tiny human she underestimated. The room was silent except for the faint hum of old machinery. Lorena's chest still raced from the earlier battle. She had survived ambushes, space skirmishes, and countless deadly missions, but nothing had prepared her for what she had just witnessed. Rian Hali, the human she had mocked, had defeated 12 trained mercenaries alone, moving faster than her eyes could follow. And yet, there was no pride in his expression, only calm, quiet focus. "We should move," Rian said softly, eyes scanning the corridor ahead. Lorena shook her head. "Move where?" "That creature, no. Those pirates, they were just the beginning." Rian nodded. "More will come if we don't find survivors. And there's something else here. Something not human." She frowned. "What do you mean?" Rian crouched near a darkened corner, examining the scratches along the wall. "These claw marks. They are fresh, and not from any weapon I know. Not from the pirates either. Something else lives here." Lorena's grip on her plasma spear tightened. "Then we have a bigger problem than I thought." The flickering lights above cast shadows that seemed alive, shifting as if watching their every move. Every corner of the abandoned station whispered danger. And then, a soft metallic groan echoed through the halls like steel scraping against bone. Rian stiffened. "It's moving." Lorena's heart jumped. "Moving where?" "Towards the survivors," he said. "We need to find them before it does." They moved carefully through the station, every footstep deliberate, every sense alert. Dust and debris crunched beneath their boots. Broken machines and fallen tools littered the floors. The deeper they went, the stronger the sense of being watched became. Finally, they reached the control chamber near the old mining drill. The door was bent inward, as if something enormous had forced its way through. Inside, monitors flickered with static, and a single emergency light blinked weakly. And then they heard it, a faint cough. Not monstrous. Human. Rian was the first to reach the source, kneeling beside a young miner hiding behind a pile of rubble. The boy's clothes were torn, his skin pale with fear and dust. "You're safe now," Rian said quietly. "Stay calm. Tell us what happened." The boy's voice trembled. It killed everyone else. We tried to block it, but it kept learning. Every time we tried to trap it, it adapted. We couldn't stop it. Rian's expression didn't change. How many survivors? Just me. I think, the boy stammered, trembling further. Lorena placed a reassuring hand on the boy's shoulder. We'll get you out. But what is it? Rian's gaze shifted to the ceiling. It's intelligent. Not fully alive in the way we know life. But it reacts, adapts, and studies its opponents. A screech cut through the air, high-pitched and metallic. The walls vibrated. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lorena's eyes widened. It's coming back. Rian's jaw tightened. It won't let us leave easily. Lorena glanced at him. Then we fight? Rian shook his head. I'll hold it. You get the miner to safety. She hesitated. Alone? That thing. It won't learn fast enough, he interrupted, calm as ever. Trust me. Her eyes narrowed. Why are you risking yourself? Rian's gaze softened, but a shadow of past pain passed through it. Once, I lost people I couldn't protect. I won't let that happen again. Lorena realized then, this wasn't duty, it was personal. And his strength wasn't just skill or training, it was survival. She moved to guide the boy toward the shuttle, but kept a careful eye on Rian. The station around them felt alive. Every shadow and flicker of light, threatening to conceal danger. Then the lights went out completely. Darkness swallowed the chamber. Only the emergency lights flickered weakly, casting long, shaking shadows. A shape dropped from the ceiling, fast, silent, and terrifying. Two pale blue slits glowed in the darkness. Lorena froze. Rian stepped forward, placing himself between the creature and them. His movements were smooth, deliberate, and fluid, almost too precise. The creature lunged. Its speed was unnatural, its strength overwhelming. Lorena barely saw it move, but Rian anticipated every strike. He twisted, dodged, and countered with effortless accuracy, forcing the creature backward. It hissed, metallic and sharp. Lorena held her spear tightly, ready to strike, but she stayed back. She could not move fast enough to fight alongside him. Yet every action he took was mesmerizing, almost poetic. The creature's limbs were long and metal-like, its body a strange hybrid of muscle and machine. Every movement it made was calculated. Every strike was deadly. Rian circled it, striking at precise angles, forcing it into the light. It learns as it fights, he murmured. It adapts. Lorena's mind raced. This wasn't just a creature, it was a hunter, a machine that grew stronger with every action. And the human in front of her. He matched it. They fought in silence, movement against movement, until the creature finally lunged for the vent above. Sparks flew as it scraped against metal. Rian struck with one final motion, forcing it down onto a pile of power conduits. Sparks arced, lighting up the chamber. The creature twitched violently, then stillness. Rian breathed heavily but stood tall, watching it. It's not gone, but it's temporarily contained. Lorena approached cautiously. You could have been killed. He shook his head. We've survived worse. Let's get the miner out before it recovers. Together, they guided the boy through the dark corridors, every shadow a possible threat. But Rian moved with precision, clearing the way, always one step ahead. When they finally reached the shuttle, the miner collapsed into the seat, sobbing. Lorena turned to Rian, studying him in awe. You're remarkable, she said. I misjudged you. Humans, your strength isn't in size. It's something else entirely. Rian's calm eyes met hers. Size never mattered, Commander. Only what you choose to protect. As the ardent star lifted off, leaving the moon behind, Lorena realized something had changed inside her. She no longer saw Rian as a small human. She saw a warrior, a protector, someone who could survive anything. And deep down, she knew this was only the beginning. The station felt heavier now, the silence almost crushing. Lirena's muscles were tense, but her mind was sharper than ever. Every step she took reminded her of the earlier fight, of the human who had just saved her life. Rian Hale, the one she had doubted. The one who had proven that strength comes in many forms. Rian led the way to the lower tunnels, where the miners had tried to hide. His movements were calm, measured, each step deliberate. "The creature is still active," he said quietly. "It's learning. We need to move fast." Lorena tightened her grip on her spear. "How do you know?" "Experience," he replied. "And observation. It's intelligent, but it's predictable if you stay calm." They reached a wide chamber near the ventilation core. Broken machinery and dust covered the floor. The faint flicker of emergency lights revealed something that made Lorena's stomach tighten. The last surviving miner crouched behind a broken console, pale and trembling. Rian was immediately at the boy's side. "It's okay now. We're here to take you out." The miner's eyes were wide with fear. It killed everyone else. It adapted every time we tried to trap it. We didn't know what to do." Rian gave him a small nod. "You're safe now. Follow my lead." Lorena placed a hand on the miner's shoulder. "We'll get you out alive." A screech echoed from the tunnels, a metallic piercing sound that vibrated through the walls. The creature was coming. Rian stepped forward, placing himself between the miner and the dark corridor. "Commander, take him to the exit, now." She hesitated. "And you?" "I'll hold it," he said calmly. "Trust me." Her eyes searched his face. "Why are you risking yourself?" Rian's gaze softened, but pain flickered in it. "Because once, I lost people I couldn't protect. Never again." She nodded slowly, understanding the truth behind his words. His strength was not just in skill, it was in survival, in determination, in the will to protect. She grabbed the miner's arm and guided him toward the exit while Rian stayed behind, watching the shadows. Then it appeared. From the dark vents above, the creature dropped with terrifying speed. Its body was a strange hybrid of muscle and metal, long limbs twisting unnaturally. Two glowing blue eyes fixed on Rian immediately. He moved without hesitation, dodging the first strike with near impossible speed. Every block, every counter was precise. The creature's attacks were stronger than before, faster, more intelligent. It learned from each movement, adapting to his style. Lorena held her spear ready, watching, but she knew she couldn't interfere without risking everything. The human she had doubted was now the shield between life and death. The creature lunged again, claws extended, aiming for the miner and her. Rian stepped in front, moving like a blur, twisting under attacks, striking with pinpoint accuracy. "It adapts too fast," Lorena whispered to herself, her heart pounding. Rian met every attack. He twisted, ducked, and struck back at exactly the right moments, forcing the creature to retreat slightly. Sparks flew as it hit metal scraps along the walls. Suddenly, it leapt toward the ceiling, trying to escape into the vents again. Rian followed, using a loose cable to swing, landing behind it. With a single perfectly timed strike, he knocked it onto exposed power conduits. Electric arcs surged across its body. The creature screamed, thrashing violently. But Rian didn't waver. He pressed his advantage, keeping it pinned, moving with lethal precision. Finally, the creature went still, its glowing eyes fading. Rian stood, breathing heavily but steady. He turned to the exit. "It's contained, for now." Lorena ran to his side, pulling the miner toward safety. The tunnels no longer felt alive. The shadows were empty once they reached the shuttle. The miner collapsed into the seat, crying with relief. Lorena turned to Rian, her expression a mix of awe and respect. "You saved us all," she said softly. He shook his head. "We saved them together." Her eyes studied him carefully. "I misjudged you, humans. Your strength is different. It's not in your size." Rian gave her a calm, steady look. "Size never mattered, Commander. only what you choose to protect. The ardent star lifted off, leaving the abandoned moon behind. The shadows of the station disappeared into the void of space. Lorena stood by the window, staring into the dark beyond. For the first time, she felt something new: respect, admiration, and understanding. This small human had faced impossible odds and survived, and she had witnessed it all. She turned to him. "From now on, you are not just my guard." He raised an eyebrow, faint curiosity in his eyes. "You are my equal," she said. "And my soldier." Rian nodded slightly, a small rare smile crossing his face. "That I will protect you. Until the end." And for the first time, Lorena believed him completely. The station faded behind them, and the crew of the Ardent Star moved forward into the stars. The human who was once underestimated had proven that true strength came not from size, but from courage, skill, and the will to protect. Space was vast and dangerous, but with Rian by her side, Lorena knew they could face anything. And she was ready to fight alongside him, no longer as a commander over a human, but as a partner, a soldier, and a friend. The adventure was far from over. But together, they had survived. Together, they were unstoppable. And the galaxy would soon learn that even the smallest human could change the course of war.